Hi there, come on in. It is Thursday night, August 3rd, the year 2000. It's the week of the Republican primary, so this show is probably not on during its regularly scheduled time, at least on all stations. But we are going to kick back and relax and float down the river. But the theme of this show is going to be up the creek without paddles. I'll explain all that in a few moments. Stay tuned. I'm Fred Trost. You're watching The Practical Sportsman. Wading in a stream is one way to fish if you don't have a boat. Your main investment is a good pair of waders, and the only other thing you need is a river or a lake that has a firm bottom, that isn't weedy or slippery, or doesn't have any hidden holes that are deeper than your waders. Using an inner tube, called a belly boat, is a step up. But last summer we tried a step up from belly boats. The guys who make these call them float tubes, and they're mostly air.
Oh, heck. This is cinchy. I like this.
A float tube is lightweight, 10 pounds maybe, some heavy-duty canvas, some aluminum tubing, and industrial plastic. You have a one-man boat that comes apart and can fit in any car. Now, this is not an inner tube, it's a boat.
Get my fishing rods ready to go.
Like a lot of outdoor gear, you could customize this with rod holders, pouches, a cooler. Some of these options are built in, but there's a lot you could add depending on what kind of fishing gear you had and what you wanted to do.
Primo. Boy, this thing really slides easy.
If you've ever tried to turn a canoe around by yourself, even without a wind from the side trying to make your life miserable, you'd appreciate how easy it is to turn a float tube.
Very maneuverable and comfortable. Oh, let's go fishing, guys.
Now, the guys I'm talking to are the guys who design and make these tubes. Jim Swanson in the back, Ron Allen in the front. They're J&R, and their little business is J&R Float Tubes. And you can see how big their float tubes are getting. Last year they came out with a two-man duck boat you can put a little outboard motor on, but this is not how they started. A few years ago they fished from inner tubes with canvas straps for seats. With those original belly boats, you actually sit in the water. The inner tube is under your armpits, and you move the tube by kicking your feet. And that's where the swim fins come in. Now, maneuvering a round inner tube like that is not as easy as it sounds. I mean, it works, it's cheap, but it does have its problems. So the first improvement that J&R made on the round inner tube concept was to make the tubes long, straight cylinders, so there's actually a front and a back with a real seat. Then they took the seat and put it above the water, made the tubes a little longer, and added a pair of oars. And to talk to these guys, you'd think that their float tubes were the best invention since sliced bread.
Well, an inner tube, just like a donut, it has no stability. Any side you add weight to, the other sides become light. With the pontoon design, the wind doesn't blow you around like it does in a round boat. You don't have a problem with it wearing out the knees of your waders, because normally in a round boat your legs rub everything. Sets you a little higher out of the water, makes it more comfortable to fish, and also getting rid of the inner tube eliminates most of the weight. You go to a nice high quality vinyl liner or PVC, and you can drop most of your weight. Go to an aluminum frame, and you've got something that weighs in at 10 pounds, easy to carry, easy to break down, easy to store in the wintertime, and you're not constantly fighting the water and fighting the wind and everything else. So.
But you wear fins and waders when you use that?
Yeah, in your small boats, what was originally called belly boating or float tubing, yeah, you wore fins, and people used everything from cheap scuba diving fins to now you have high dollar, $150 force fins.
But you've gone from the fins to the oars. I mean, you started making a boat. You lost grip on the belly boat thing.
Well, we gained speed. We found that we had so much fun fishing in a lightweight boat that we could just, you decide at 9 o'clock at night you want to go fishing, or 6 o'clock in the morning, you don't have to go load up the boat on the trailer, spend a half an hour getting out of the driveway, and another half hour getting on the water. You grab your boat, you throw it in the truck, you bomb on down to the lake, you throw it in the water. Well, now you want to hit a bigger lake, and the fish are always biting on the other side. It's a long way to kick when you're not doing any fishing. So you come out with a boat that's got the oars on it, and you can really move. I mean, you can outrun a trolling motor with them. So, you got a lightweight boat, lightweight oars. You move right over to where you want to fish, put your feet back down, and go back to the regular way of fishing.
This is unruly. Look at that, northern pike. Oh. Now, this is going to be interesting. Very interesting. Oh, there's a net. I don't think he's ready to come in yet. Very frankly. What? No, that's okay. I'll get him, but he's just not tired yet. And he's smiling a lot. There we go.
That's good.
Take the hook right out. Look at that. Hey, this is all right. There it goes. Huh. Well, what do you think of that?
Pretty cool.
If you've ever handled a northern pike, you understand all my hand washing. If you haven't handled a northern pike, don't worry about it. It's just a part of the charm of these fish. But actually, there's other fish in this river, too.
Whoa! This is a smallmouth, too, and it's a decent one. Yeah?
That's why I come out of it. I started to go through it and then seen what I was going in, and I decided, no,
Okay.
that's...
See, Johnny, I'm not funning you here. Whoa! Huh? Huh? Oh. You get right close to the action in this boat.
Probably gonna get off.
No. Come on, Johnny. You know who I am? Yeah, look at that. Hey, that would almost be a keeper, I think.
Well, I caught his
You caught his...
kid.
Yeah, that's pretty decent. 13 and a half. Pretty good.
You got a measuring thing on the front of your boat.
Oh, no, not on this one.
Oh.
Look how they sit right there. You hold them that way. That never fails to impress me. Sit them in the water and... Oh,
Another hit directly
oh, a big
underneath
thank
that
you it gave
big
me.
boat. You guys went by and I got a hit right underneath your big
Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah, they're in here.
Yeah, it's a nice hole. That's why I'm stopping.
This river is generally a couple feet deep, but the hole Ron is talking about is 5 or 6 feet. Bigger fish are either in or around that hole. Now, I hooked a fish up near shore that got tangled in a sunken tree, but worked it loose.
Oh, it's a bass.
It's a bass. It's a smallmouth, huh?
Yep. It's a nice one. Oh, man. It's a porker. Look at that. Oh, this is too cool. Too cool. I don't think he's ready. He is not ready by any stretch. Oh, I'm in the trees here. Boy, that's a good one. I think this little twister tail is a dandy bait. Sure is versatile. Yeah, that's a nice one. Look at this. Huh?
Holy
They're getting
smokes.
bigger every time. Man, that one pulled the drag.
There are a lot of rivers in this state that are full of smallmouth bass, rivers that are around where you live, and not many people fish them.
Now that's a legal size. That was a dandy one. Here, I'll push you back and let her go. Oh man, I knew he was gonna do that. I had to let him go the other direction.
Now, why do I toss this bass back? Well, I was tempted to keep it because smallmouth bass are terrific eating. But bass are fun to catch, and they can be caught time and time again. Now, this river, like most Michigan lakes and streams, has other fish, panfish, catfish, even walleye, that I wouldn't toss back, and you never know when you're going to catch them.
Yeah, this is a good one. This hadn't even shown itself yet.
Oh, he threw in and latched onto my fish, huh?
Yep. Is that a walleye? Is this a walleye? Is this a walleye? Look at this. This is a walleye. Ooh. Oh boy. Oh boy, what do you see here? I see 2 fillets. That's a keeper. Huh?
Yeah, he hit pretty
Okay.
hard, but all he did was hit my worm. He pulled my worm.
Hey, I like this. Now this walleye is not going back. I'm sorry. Excuse me. We'll measure it just
Want
for...
to measure them up here?
Yeah.
It's important to know what the size limits are for the body of water you're fishing. And it's important to have a measuring tape, too.
There's 15 there. That's... Oh, right?
Start from the, yeah.
Right from there, we're over 15, so we've got it covered. We've got it covered. Now, what do we do with the fish? Of course, I don't have a stringer, and I'm not putting it in my pocket, Mr. Jim.
Now, this happens far more often than most anglers like to admit. Stringers at home, stringers in the garage, maybe even a stringer in the truck back at the ramp. So the old practical side of a sportsman comes out, using a piece of anchor rope.
There we go. All right. Well, I've got smallmouth, northern pike, and a legal walleye. In fact, I don't know if that pike was legal or not. Probably wasn't, but bass and the walleye were. Now, back in.
You know, rivers like this flow every which way in this state, and most rivers have far more fish than most people think. Every now and then, you'll see somebody wading, and you'll see a few canoeists from time to time, and quite a few people fish from shore. But the point is, these rivers, by and large, have plenty of elbow room. And there's lots of lakes and ponds that you can fish, too. Now, a small aluminum boat or canoe can get you onto these waters. You don't need an outboard motor. You don't need a landing net or even a measuring tape. Just a fishing rod, maybe a sandwich and some sunblock. I tell you, there's no better way to spend a summer day.
I like it. What a great invention. I love that trip. I love those little belly boats, they call them. But unfortunately, the guys who made that boat, J&R Pro Tubes, are out of business. And unfortunately, that happens with a lot of outdoor businesses nowadays, especially smaller ones. So the belly boat business went belly up. I mean, there's still a demand for it, but they just couldn't make it financially. Now, that leads to an email that I got the other day. Let me share this with you. I was thinking of joining Practical Sportsman, but recently I've been seeing and hearing Fred is quitting. There's a thread on a particular website stating that this is in the works and he won't be doing the show next year. Now, if this is true, what'll happen to the magazine and/or club? Is there any information you can give me? I'd hate to see an outdoor program and information on Michigan lost. Well, that is a rumor, and that particular website promotes a lot of gossip like that and oftentimes lambasts me, but that's just symptomatic of what's going on in the outdoors. Now, for rumor control, here is my official statement. Now, I'm not quitting this television show, but I am changing it to cope with major changes in the TV and outdoor markets, because both television is in for some big changes in the next year or two with digital. Outdoors has been going through all sorts of contortions, and businesses, a lot of them are having a real rough time. What's going to happen with the magazine? Changing title of the magazine with the next issue. Yes, we've had severe financial problems. Yes, the outdoor fair was, well, it was the last one. 2 weeks ago, that was the last outdoor fair. The Livingston Conservation Association and us agreed that it just wasn't financially viable to continue anymore. Now, that means we're quitting the outdoor fair, we're changing the magazine, changing the club concept, I'm changing the TV show, I'm knocking off 60-hour weeks that I've been spending all my life on this and getting it to something manageable so I can spend a little time fishing or hunting. That could be construed as quitting the TV show the way I've done it. But believe me, I'm going to be on the air here November 5th, or the first week in November of the year 2000 to start my, I guess it'll be my 20th year on public television. So I'm pretty excited about that. So I'm going to be here. That's the rumor control. Now, how is the TV show going to change? Well, we're going to get into one thing. We'll be collecting, hunting and gathering and collecting is a part of that, of old fishing tackle. Here's a reel that I picked up, I think at a garage sale. I can't remember how much I paid for it. And when I showed this to Jim Swatowski, the darn plastic front here broke. Now that just broke off.
Oh, geez. I hate to tell you, this was a real expensive reel too, Fred.
No.
I'm just kidding. Wanted to burst your bubble. This is made by Ted Williams.
Well, it's Ted Williams' name is on it.
Well, he didn't actually made it, but it was more a promotional thing than anything. This is in real tough shape. This is about the worst I've seen. Unfortunately. All this would be good for is if somebody else had one laying around and they needed parts. This is goes in the line of the freebie box that you usually see at garage sales. So this would be a free reel, unfortunately. And because his name is on there, it doesn't make it worth any more. Condition does mean everything for a lot of things, and this one is in poor condition, unfortunately. It's been abused.
Oh, collecting will be a little part of each show starting in September. Mike Stewart will be a big contributor to this, and I've really gotten into garage sales and collecting and finding things, and the whole museum is developed along this theme. Now, another thing I'm going to be doing that's going to be a change is I'm going to be working out of this vast video library that we've collected over the years, and one thing I'm going to use more of is home videos. Here's one which you probably don't remember that is the type of thing you'll be seeing with the new season.
Yes, that sound you're hearing is a deer snarfling down corn. Spence McElroy from Florence, Wisconsin took this video in his backyard in 1990. Ran a microphone cable from his house to the corn feeder. That's how he was able to document the noise a deer makes when it's chewing corn. Now, deer are quite active in the early evening and the few hours after dark. One thing they do around food is fight. The does use their hooves against each other, and their hooves are hard and sharp on the ends. The bucks use their antlers. Now, if these bucks were seriously fighting, they wouldn't take any breaks. They'd fight continuously, but they seem to want to make sure their antlers are engaged properly before they start pushing each other. This pulling apart and running, that's not serious fighting. That's fun fighting. They lock their antlers again, but don't push for very long before they take another breather. Of course, check to see if anybody's watching them. The way they clinch reminds me of big-time wrestling. And this one buck pulls away, looks like he's doing a moonwalk for the crowd. A lot of the big group feeding activity is at night, but this sparring isn't something that a lot of people see at the end of January.
I've never seen them fight like this. I think they're playing more than anything. It's late in the season. Getting ready to lose their horns or something. Really acting goofy.
Spence McElroy caught some interesting moments with his video camera. Bucks that fought, but seemed to be playing. Their sparring at times gets a little out of hand. They hurt each other now and then. This buck appears to be torn up on his shoulder, but now he wants to eat, and we can hear the sound of corn against deer teeth cutting through the cold winter night.
Home videos are one thing that have come about because of the changes in the TV business and TV market, and I'm going to be using more of those on the air. So if you want to shoot some and send it to me, although I have a lot of them that people have sent to me over the years that I'll start putting on the air this September. What else here? Oh, our trophy stories. That's something we do at our banquets that I think is a lot of fun, and we're going to spend a couple minutes on each program. And here's a youngster who caught a fish about this same time a year or two ago. Check out this bluegill here. This is an 11.5 incher caught on a leech at Seagull Lake in Crawford County by Taylor Little. You're not that little, are ya?
No,
How old are you?
6.
6 years old, and you caught this when you were 5?
No,
No?
6.
You were 6. You caught it in July. When's your
Yeah.
birthday?
September.
You caught it when you were 5. You don't like to think about when you were 5, do you?
No.
Okay. We'll play. You're 6 now, and you caught this bluegill that's an 11.5 inches long in the evening towards the end of July. And who were you fishing with?
My dad.
Your dad? And was he catching fish?
No.
Isn't he a very good fisherman?
Yeah,
He is, but what happened that night?
I'm the only one that caught the fish.
Oh, yeah?
And
What?
is that the only fish?
Oh, this was the only fish? Just the one? Now, what's the secret that you have for catching fish when nobody else can catch them?
Not telling.
You have a secret, but you're not going to tell?
Not telling.
Well, I'm going to have to go up to your dad and see if I can squeak this out of him. Do you have any clue why he's such a good fisherman?
Well, he pays attention to what he's doing
Huh.
most of the time.
And you weren't.
No, obviously not, because I wasn't catching anything.
So he caught it on a leech.
Yep,
Who hooked the leech on?
I did for him the first couple times.
But he handled the leech after that?
Yeah, he's getting pretty good at it. He's getting to be a good fisherman.
Oh, yeah? So would you rather use leech or night crawler?
Leech.
Really? You don't mind the way they kind of stick to you?
No.
You ever used a Helgramite?
No.
You might not like them as much. Well, that's great, this bluegill. I hope you catch another big one and we can see you next year. Okay?
Okay.
Taylor Little, congratulations. Put her there. There you go. So for the coming year, I'm not quitting. I'm working out of the video library. We're going to be using the hunting and fishing stories. We're going to do things on collecting. I'm going to have how-to outdoor features on regularly with home videos. I'm going to be doing news, a couple minutes on each show, current outdoor news, at least from my perspective, more of a commentary. And what a guide report. I'm not sure the fate of the guide report. It takes a vast amount of time. I'm not doing them this summer because I'm going to go fishing tomorrow. So that's the way it's going to be. I'll pick up the guide report in some sort of format in September. Anyway, that's the program. Make sure you get serious about having more fun outdoors because that's what we're doing for the coming year on this show. See you next week.
Now, this river, like most Michigan lakes and streams, has other fish, panfish, catfish, even walleye, that I wouldn't toss back, and you never know when you're going to catch them.
Yeah, this is a good one. This hadn't even shown itself yet.
Oh, he threw in and latched onto my fish, huh?
Yep. Is that a walleye? Is this a walleye? Is this a walleye? Look at this. This is a walleye. Ooh. Oh boy. Oh boy, what do you see here? I see 2 fillets. That's a keeper. Huh?
Yeah, he hit pretty
Okay.
hard, but all he did was hit my worm. He pulled my worm.
Hey, I like this. Now this walleye is not going back. I'm sorry. Excuse me. We'll measure it just
Want
for...
to measure them up here?
Yeah.
It's important to know what the size limits are for the body of water you're fishing. And it's important to have a measuring tape, too.
There's 15 there. That's... Oh, right?
Start from the, yeah.
Right from there, we're over 15, so we've got it covered. we've got it covered. Now, what do we do with the fish? Of course, I don't have a stringer, and I'm not putting it in my pocket, Mr.